Let's talk about data science and machine learning solution development lifecycle in this video. There are many solution development lifecycle processes available for us to use, and I'm going to name few of them here. Then we are going to focus on just one of them, which is most widely used in the industry. Okay, so we have something called CRISP-DM. CRISP-DM is the popular option in the industry. So what CRISP-DM means is it is cross-industry standard process for data mining. Although it was created for data mining, it is very good choice for any analytical solution development. So if you want to develop any type of analytical solutions, then CRISP-DM is suitable for that. Okay, and this is one of the popular choice in the industry. Later, we are going to zoom into this particular one and we are going to see how this works. But bear in mind that all the other processes also follow similar structure and steps. Okay, although the naming of those things might be different, at a high level, all of them follow more or less similar steps. Okay, so the next one that we have is called OSEM model. It is called Obtain, Scrub, Explore model. And the other one is called TDSP, which means Team Data Science Process. And this is from Microsoft. Okay, like I said, all three of them, and there are many other out in the wild, all of them follow more or less similar steps. Okay, we are going to focus on CRISP-DM now because this is one of the popular choice in the industry. So in CRISP-DM, everything revolves around the data. So we have data, which is basically the centerpiece for us. Okay, once we have data, once we understood that we have data, the first thing that we want to do is we want to understand the business requirement. We want to understand what is the business problem that we are solving, what value it is going to add to the business. Okay, so that is what we need to understand. We need to understand this thoroughly before doing anything else. Then the next step is data understanding. This is where, okay, so we have some data, we may need to collect more data, or we might need to tweak some of the data so that we'll be able to meet the business requirement. So we'll go back and forth in these two phases to understand what business wants and analyze and understand what data we have to support that. Okay, so if we don't have data to support it, then we will see whether we will be able to capture the data and so on. If we have decided that, okay, so we have the business problem, but we don't have data and we don't have any means to capture the data, then there is no point in proceeding forward, right? Without data, we can't do anything. Okay, so after some back and forth, we have understood the business problem, we have defined what is the problem we are going to solve, and we also believe that we have sufficient data to solve that problem. Then the next step is data preparation. So this is where we'll be selecting subset of data that we are going to use to solve this problem. We'll actually zoom into that selected data. We'll see what is the quality of the data, what is missing, and how we can actually impute the missing data. Do we need to do any cleanups? Do we need to format the data? We do all those things in here. So basically we'll select the data that we are going to use for later steps, and we will make sure that is of good quality and also it is suitable for the task we have at hand. Okay, so that is what we do at the data preparation stage. Once this is done, we will move on to modeling. So modeling and data preparation, these two are actually kind of tightly coupled. We will go back and forth between these two steps to finalize the final model that we are going to have to solve this business problem. Okay, so we may choose a model and we might use the data that we have selected, and we might find that, okay, so the data is not quite good, so we will go back to the data preparation step. We will change the data, or change it to different format, or we might even do some sort of feature engineering. Then we will come back to modeling, or we may even pick different model for different type of data that we select in this particular step. Okay, so this is where we do some back and forth and finalize the model that solves the problem we have at hand. Then we need to evaluate whether the model that we have developed meets the business requirement. Okay, so there are different evaluation metrics. So basically we will make sure whether the model that we have developed solves the business problem or the success factor that we have set out in the business understanding stage. If it doesn't meet the business requirement, then we will go back to the drawing board and we will start over. We will actually either refine the business understanding, or we'll change the business understanding based on the experience we gained in the first iteration, and then we'll go through the whole process again. Okay, let's assume that in the next iteration we manage to achieve the business requirement, so the evaluation will be successful. Okay, so if the evaluation is successful, then we will deploy that model so it can be used by the business to solve the problem that they have at hand. So this is actually at a high level how CRISP-DM works, and this is also at a high level process for any other solution development lifecycle within the analytical space. Okay, so like I said previously, the whole process revolves around data. Data is going to be the centerpiece, and everything, all the steps that we do are going to revolve around the data that we have. Okay, so that is all I wanted to share in this video. I hope this is useful. Thank you.